Lassiter Factor.
What's up, all my movie-loving maniacs? This is your boy Bankful B of the Lassiter Factor, and I am back with another TV review. Today I'm going to talk about The Studio, which is a show that I've been meaning to watch, and I finally got around to binge watching it, so let's review. The Studio is about a studio executive who gets promoted to the head of the studio titled Continental Studios. And throughout the show, we see him trying to strike a balance between making good movies and making studios that will make a quick buck. Now, like I said, I've been meaning to watch this show. I remember seeing the trailer for it, and clearly this movie is a satire on the Hollywood system and how movies are made and Hollywood's whole mindset on how they're making modern movies. To me, this might be my favorite show of 2025 because I enjoyed every minute of it, mainly because I'm me. I love movies, and just hearing from what I hear in the news and kind of understanding the studio system, I can clearly see the show for what it is and instantly got references and basically the mindset of people who work in Hollywood. And they juggle a lot in the show, but before I get into that, this is surprisingly an impressive cast, whether it's actors we know playing characters or actors coming in to play themselves. Now, this show is starring Seth Rogen, who plays the one getting promoted, and hey, he's been in Hollywood for a long time. At this point, he knows how Hollywood works, so it would make sense for him to have a satirical take on how a movie studio is ran. Catherine O'Hara is in this movie, in which she's the one that Seth Rogen replaces, but she turns out to be in most of the episodes, and I really liked her in this movie. I mean, not movie, show, y'all know what I mean. Ike Barinholtz, who is a close friend of Maddie in this show, and the president of production within this show, and he's been working for a long time, and I think this might be my favorite role of his. Catherine Hahn, who I swear to God, the last thing I just saw her in was Agatha all along, so it was nice to see her kind of switch up, but at the same time still be herself. But basically, she's the head of marketing in this show, and she basically seems what a marketing person would be when marketing movies. Then you got Bryan Cranston, who plays the CEO of the Continental, and he's always great in things. But like I said, there's also many cast members on this show, whether they're playing themselves or they're playing a character, such as Zoe Kravitz, Dave Franco, Nicholas Stroller, who is a famous filmmaker, Rebecca Hall, Greta Lee, Charlize Theron, Martin Scorsese. Matter of fact, that's a nice segue. But like I said, this show is juggling many things, and it has a lot to say about how movies get pitched. And Martin Scorsese, he stars in an episode in which, well, here's the thing. The whole premise of the show is they're trying to make a movie based on Kool-Aid. You know, the Kool-Aid Man. And at first they want to get Martin Scorsese because, like Maddie in the show says, he wants to make good movies. And he thinks, hopefully, Martin Scorsese can make a good movie out of Kool-Aid. And then it turns out to be a movie about Jonestown. There's one episode which has Ron Howard, and it basically a commentary on how some filmmakers can be hacks, in which you try to give them a little note about something. The studio likes everything about the movie except this one little thing that they feel like they need to take out, but then directors are fighting just to keep that in there because it's personal to them. But at the same time, the studio's like, we think this will kind of bring the movie down, and it might not lead to the best buck. There's even infighting within the studio about, you got certain execs that's really passionate about getting a certain movie made, but then someone over you basically vetoes that. There's even an episode where there's the argument of movies not being considered art, and it really is. But probably my favorite episode is the one where they talk about casting, in which, since they are making a movie about the Kool-Aid Man, they cast a black actor in the role. And at first they were cool with it, but then it turns out they think it might be a little racist because it might play into stereotypes, because historically speaking, black people have loved Kool-Aid. And it turns out that's not really the issue. The issue is that they're going to have AI do animation, and that's what the audience turns out to be mad about in the end. But I just like that episode because it's a commentary on how tone-deaf Hollywood has become. Look, there's so much about this show I can gush about, and it has so much to say, but I'm going to just say, go watch this if you have not watched it yet. It's on Apple Plus, and maybe because this show speaks to me personally because of my interest, but god dang it, it was still the best show I've seen this year, and they were all 30 minutes, it was easily digestible, and it was still funny as well. I'm going to give The Studio the hands up emoji because to me it is a masterpiece. And I'm not just giving it that rating just because it spoke to me. I really feel like this is a legit put together show and it has some great production value. This show is also great on a filmmaking standpoint. That's it for the day. Have you seen the studio? If so, let me know what you think in the comment section below. This is your boy Bangful B of the Lassiter Factor. Stay safe, wash your hands, peace.